number 2 in Unit 4, and it's just a review of inverse trig. So, I mean, inverse derivatives, actually. So, one of the things you'll have to be able to recall is just remembering the formula for a derivative. So, just formally, here's f. This is the inverse of some function f, right? But when I do like this, and it's easier to see clearly that this is the derivative, put the apostrophe out here. This equals 1 over f prime of the inverse of x. All right, so, all right, if I can find this in here, I can produce the derivative of this inverse. So when they give you f of 3, right, then you can conclude that f of the inverse of x, let's see, 15 equals 3. So I could create a little table here based on some of this information. Let's make a little table here. I want f of x. I want the inverse of x. Okay. And maybe f prime of x. Okay. So for 3, I know that f of x is 15. It tells me in the first part right here. For 6, I know f of x is 3. Similarly, for the inverses here, 15, I know that the inverse is 3. For 3, I know the inverse is 6. All right? Now, for 6, f prime is going to be, tells me right here, -2. All right? Now, they tell me that g is equal to this inverse, so this is also g of x. All right? For all x, what is the value of g prime 3? So you could look at it like, you could say f inverse of 3. They're looking for this. Or you could say just g prime of 3. Whichever one you want. And I'm taking my time because I want you to really understand how this works. So I know that this is the formula. All right, so I'm going to go and write this out. I'm looking for, right here, this happens to be g prime of x. So I'm looking for g prime of 3. It equals 1 over, and this inverse equals g of x, okay, of f prime of g of 3. So if I think about it this way, for 3, g, or the inverse, is 6. So this equals 1 over f prime of 6. Now f prime of 6 is -2, equals -1 over 2. And that's all it is. That's how it works. All right. Number next, it's higher, it's derivative. So derivative here. So if I'm going to get the derivative, I'm going to make this x over x plus 1, make it equal to u, and then d sub u. And I'm going to put this up in the top so it's easier for me. Okay. D sub u is going to be, using the product rule here, I have 1 times x plus 1 to the negative 1 plus x times, you could use the product rule, or you could use, if you wanted to do it this way, you could do the quotient rule. So negative 1 times x plus 1 to the negative 2. All right. Simplified, that's x plus 1 to the negative 1 plus, or minus, actually, minus x over x plus 1, and it's squared. I'm just going to make this a fraction as well. Have x plus 1 over that, minus x over x plus 1 squared. So that's using the product rule. Looks nothing like what I need right now, but that's okay. I'm going to put these together here. So I'm going to multiply this side by x plus 1. And this is just that one little derivative right there. There might be an easier way. Squared minus x over x plus 1 squared. This equals 1 over x plus 1 squared. Okay, so I have d sub u. It's right here. I'm going to highlight it. I have u. This is u as well. And I have d sub u. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my original problem here. So this equals u to the 5th. I want to get the derivative of this. So that would be 5u to the 4th d sub u. Okay. That's going to be 5, and my u is x over x plus 1 times d sub u, which is 1 over x plus 1 to the 4th. And the bottom part is squared. Okay, if I wanted to simplify this, this would be 5 times x to the 4th. So 5 times 1 is just 5, x to the 4th. And I have 4 x plus 1s right here. And I have 2 of them right here. So I'm going to have a 6 right there. And so this is my final answer. And I'm just going to find the one that matches. And it's number D. And that's all she wrote. Just some practice. A little bit complicated there. Please be able to work through these. Go back and work through it. If you wanted to do the product rule in there, the quotient rule, you could, but we'll leave it right there. Have a good one, guys.